And what was the sub-notion like? Did it live up to your expectations?
Oh, it's fantastic, brilliant. I mean, if there's ever a place to day sail, it's there. So long as you only day sail in one direction, of course. But no, it's brilliant. The Atlantic will never be the same again. As soon as you come back around Cape Horn, you don't really realise how big the waves are and how long they've been going on for, and you come around Cape Horn and they're all switched off, and by the time you get to the Falklands the sun's out and it's like, you know, where have the waves gone and why isn't it grey anymore? And no, sailing will never be the same unless it's down there.
What about wildlife and albatrosses and the loneliness of the south? Is that something that you enjoyed?
Yes, very much. Yeah, I mean the first time it blew down there, you were suddenly aware when you got 50, 60 knots, forecast by Meteo France, obviously you're on your own. Whenever you sail on your own, you're on your own completely. But for the first time ever, I think I was aware of a very real sense of isolation, and that was, I was on my guard. I was careful for the first one, but then it's something that I'd actively seek out now.
And how about Cape Horn? Was that a special moment for you?
It was, yeah. I had the discussion with the guy that did the radio vacations, as they call them, on the Vendee site. That what was the significance of Cape Horn to me, and I said, well, it's a mark of the course. I've got to get round it, and then I'm on the way home. But really, when you get there, it meant far more than I thought it would do. It was getting out of the Southern Ocean, being spared. It was the start of the leg home, and things hopefully getting a lot easier. And if you've got any sort of perception of atmospheres, the place really does have an atmosphere. You are conscious of hundreds or thousands of people who've died, not getting around there.
What other special moments were there for you in the race?
I think all of the South. I remember all of the South very fondly. It wasn't so good when things broke, and you've got to wait weeks there for sometimes for a bit of decent weather to repair things, like with the gooseneck. But the whole of the South, the way it felt, how just sort of clean and wild, and all of those words that people use, desolate and dangerous, all of those things. It just is a sort of completely burnt into my tiny brain now. I'll never forget. Crossing the equator for the first time, getting down towards Brazil on the way out and being not too far behind the boats in front, which was a bit of a turn up, but it's still a good boat downwind.
And what about when you returned to Le Sable d'Olonne? How special was that?
That I think probably eclipsed everything else, because it's funny, the French particularly seem to understand it's more of a human thing. It's more of what is more of a human thing than a sailing thing, and I was completely blown away. I mean, they said that there were 40 to 50,000 people there, which only Mish Desert had more than that, and I wasn't expecting it, and I was looking for another reason for them to be there, like it was market day or something like that. But there was no other reason other than to see the boat come in, and that really sort of does you in. It's incredibly humbling. It still makes the hairs on the back of my neck go up now.
Kim, how did you feel?
Oh, it was just incredible. I didn't, no, I thought we'd sneak in and just have a pint, and most of our friends would be there, but no, I never expected the amount of people that turned out in the Sable. It was just incredible.
So you've achieved your dreams, or at least
stage one.
This one.
What comes next?
Well, Five Oceans, Felix Five Oceans, and that'll be the next major one. And after that, the 2012 Vendee, hopefully both of those events with a slightly newer boat and a better chance of winning, maybe a slightly larger budget. So we're back to square one, looking for sponsorship. That's our day job again.
So how are you coping financially? Is your home now safe?
Well, we came back in pretty much exactly the same financial state as we left in, with nothing. I think we've got 200 quid left now, or something like that. We're going to do some speaking, and there are people interested in doing some trips on the boat, because we welcome all comers really for that. Also, we've got one or two corporate bookings for the summer, so hopefully that'll tide us over until such time as we find a sponsor and move things up a gear.
Kim, how happy are you that Steve's continuing racing and that this life is set to continue?
Well, I think it's really quite good, actually. No, it's what we set out to do, and
still married.
Yeah, we're still married. It's what we set out to do, and so we'll just keep going, I think.
Do you sail?
I do, yeah. Luckily.
So you understand.
I do, yeah.
And do you have your own plans for the future?
Oh yes, I do actually. Yes, I'm going to walk to the North Pole. I'm going to take a couple of the lads from Toe in the Water. I've got a little team that I've pressed together. I'm waiting for Pete Goss to get back from Australia so that he can come and talk to me, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, that sounds absolutely brilliant. How long have you wanted to do that?
Oh, about 6 years or so.
And now you're going to get the chance.
Yeah.
So you're both going to be living your dreams.
Yeah, I think we want to do some double-handed sailing as well. We do want to do something like that, but no, I need to go to the North Pole first.
Well, I'm not cold enough here for you.
No, you see, I don't like the cold, so that's why it's such
That's
a
all
challenge.
she's moaned about all day.
So it sounds like there's a lot more to come from the White family. We're
Yeah, I
going to be
think so.
covering the exploits of both of you.
Well, maybe.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Hope so.
Look forward to it. Thank you both very, very much indeed.
Thank you.
That's okay, thanks.